Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe because you will find my videos intriguing. Like and share your comments on what you think about this video. Of late, I have been sharing videos about AIPAC and how this strong lobby group advocates for pro-Israel policies. Now, The Guardian even wrote that AIPAC's money is focused on blocking female candidates who, if elected, are highly to align with the squad of progressive members of Congress who have been critical of Israel, mainly anyone who opposes their agenda. Now, in this video, a man explains how he was offered $20 million to withdraw from the senatorial race and run against his friend Rashid Tlaib. He also states how the pro-Israel lobby will go to any length to remove anybody from the US Congress that has any opposition to their agenda. Here's the video as this man shares all this to us. I will be right back.
I was offered $20 million to withdraw from the senatorial race and run against my friend Rashida Tlaib. The pro-Israel lobby will go to any length to remove anybody from the US Congress that has any opposition to their agenda and their total unequivocal support for Israel, good, bad, or indifferent. We need to make sure that money is not the main catalyst to get people elected, because the pro-Israel lobby is only tool, and what they use to threaten politicians is the amount of money they're going to spend against them or for them. America, let's come together and elect people who truly represent our values and not those of special interest. AIPAC, keep your money in.
Now, this is crazy. They're like two actually who have been offered separately $20 million each by a donor to drop out in primary Rashida Tlaib, who of course has come under incredible fire for her public statements in favor of Palestinian people, their humanity, and even calling for a ceasefire. Now, I think this is a matter of we do it because we can, and it's one of those where they want to take her out just to show that it is possible. But let's check out a few stitches. I will be right back, and when I come back, we talk more about this topic.
I was offered $20 million to withdraw.
I really hate that the stitches are so short and then you have to like really know what you're going to say and say it fast before you stitch it. And I wish they were longer, and I wish we had longer to respond. But what I want to say is that I was just having a conversation with someone about the Dominion lawsuit, and they accepted whatever amount of money they accepted, and Fox got to continue to lie. So basically Fox was able to pay for play. They were able to pay to continue to lie to the American people, and they have a big following. We need more men like this person. We need more humans like this that say no amount of money, we're not going to sell each other out, because really that's what it is. We can't continue to sell each other out for money. It's incorrect. It's going to kill the planet, and it's going to kill all of us.
So AIPAC made the news today because they offered $20 million to Michigan Senate candidate Hill Harbour to run against Representative Rashida Tlaib. She is our only Palestinian American in Washington, D.C. representing us, and she is very outspoken about Palestinian rights. And of course, that scares a lot of people, especially those on the right. So she's been censured for speaking out. There have been some on the right who have spoken about pro-Israel stuff and said some really crazy stuff. They have not been censured, of course. So we're learning in America, you can lose your job or you can be censured if you care about human rights for the Palestinian people. Now, he was, like I said, he was offered $20 million. Someone else had mentioned it. They knew about the phone call. He didn't, but then when it was brought up, he was like, yeah, I was offered $20 million. So good on him for not taking that money. Now, AIPAC, they're also going to spend $100 million against the squad. She's a member of the squad. If you're not familiar with the squad, these are the squad. This 8 people right here. They're Democrats. They're more progressive. They tend to be more new to the job, and it scares a lot of people on the right. And scares a little bit of people on the left, but mostly the right. And so they're going to spend $100 million for the next election cycle to make sure that the squad gets broken up. So I think they're going to be wasting a lot of money, and I'm all for that.
Sorry, what? This doesn't make any sense. I am pro-Palestinian. I am anti-Zionist. I was doing research last night about how much money the pro-Israel lobby spends in American politics, and $20 million in one congressional race in Michigan Doesn't make any sense. The math doesn't math. In 2022, the pro-Israel lobby spent $30 million in total. Not just AIPAC, all of the pro-Israel lobbies spent $30 million in the elections in 2022. $30 million. So a $20 million donation to one candidate, there is no way that that would have not been noticed. Put this in some context, in 2022, Rashida Tlaib raised $3.2 million. In 2020, the same congressional district, the Democrat raised $1.6 million. In 2016, that same Democrat raised $1.1 million. So far in 2024, Rashida Tlaib has raised $872,000. This is all open source data, by the way. AIPAC giving this one candidate $20 million to defeat Rashida Tlaib, there is no way that that wouldn't set off every single alarm bell that we have. $20 million would be more than all the candidates in Michigan spent in 2022 combined. And again, I am pro-Palestinian, I'm anti-Zionist. I don't think they should be spending a penny in American elections. But $20 million seems like a very odd figure for AIPAC to be donating to this candidate, because it would not go unnoticed. There is no way they could hide $20 million into a campaign budget and not have people notice, because it dwarfs, absolutely dwarfs, any spending in Michigan. Here's the part that doesn't make any sense at all. If the pro-Israel lobby is willing to spend $20 million to run against Rashida Tlaib in this congressional race, you would assume that they would choose a candidate that would at least be neutral. Like, maybe not pro-Israel, but at least neutral, just to remove Rashida Tlaib and not make it look glaringly obvious that it was Israel that influenced that election. There are actually two candidates that are claiming that the AIPAC is offering them $20 million to run against Rashida Tlaib. The first one is Hill Harper, who's an actor, and he's now running in Michigan, who is a lawyer, a union organizer, and an actor. Anyone who knows about far-right politics, which is what Israel is, knows that when you see a union organizer, that's the wrong side of the spectrum. So in terms of Israeli interest in oil, the number one thing on his website for an issue he's running on is climate justice. I'm telling you right now, Israel is not going to support climate justice candidates. I don't want to log into X right now, but when I searched Hill Harper, one of his tweets came up. I support a prolonged ceasefire extension. Urge our congressional representatives to join this stance. I will always advocate for protecting all human life, especially for the most defenseless among us, children, the sick, the elderly, and safely providing humanitarian aid during the crises. It goes on, but like, he is not pro-Israel. He's not even neutral. He's calling for an extension to the ceasefire. Then I looked at Nasser because, again, I'm not in America. I don't know who this guy is. I've never heard of him before in my life. So I looked up who he is and I looked on his campaign website. In 2003, he played a key role in developing and hosting the first U.S. Arab Economic Forum, bringing together leaders from across the United States and the Arab world to build relationships between the two regions. That's on his website. I'm sorry. You're telling me that AIPAC tried to donate $20 million to these two candidates in Michigan to try and get Rashida Tlaib out of Congress. For $20 million, AIPAC could have picked literally anyone and given them $20 million, and they would have had double the budget of the highest fundraising campaign in Michigan in 2022. They could have literally hand-selected a pro-Israel candidate and given them $20 million. They could have hand-selected a neutral candidate and given them $20 million. They could have picked anyone off the street and given them $20 million, and it would have made way more sense than offering $20 million to these two candidates, who very clearly have no interest in supporting Israel. And again, I am pro-Palestinian, I'm anti-Zionist. I was doing this research to better understand what the pro-Israel lobby is gaining out of giving money to US elections. But when I came across this video, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. There is no way that they could have gotten away with offering them $20 million or giving them $20 million and not having that stick out like a sore thumb. But the part that really doesn't make sense is why $20 million? So from both sides, if Israel or the pro-Israel lobby is giving a candidate money to run against Rashida Tlaib, $20 million is an obscene amount of money for a congressional candidate. There is no way that people wouldn't notice your support of that candidate and your very intentional attempt at getting Rashida Tlaib out of power. First of all. Second of all, if you're lying about it, why $20 million? It doesn't make any sense. That is like a crazy amount of money. It is more than AIPAC spent in 2022 in total on all congressional races. $20 million seems like a very strange amount of money to be claiming that you were offered when, in the context of how much money is normally raised in congressional races in Michigan, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I really hate to accuse people of lying, but it also just kind of makes me sad because I don't see how this makes any sense. If Israel or the pro-Israel lobby wanted to hand select a candidate in that riding and give them $20 million, that would be double the budget that any other candidate in Michigan had. So why would they not just do that instead of offering $20 million to two candidates that aren't even neutral on the issue of Israel? Somebody help. Somebody make it make sense, because it doesn't make sense to me. Free Palestine.
Where did I hear that before? Oh yeah, Senate candidate Hugh Harper rejected $20 million offer in campaign contributions to run against Rashida Tlaib instead. Now they wanted him to stop what he was doing to run against her. So Harper tweeted about the offer after Politico reported that donor Lyndon Nelson offered $20 million to Harper, allocating half of it in donations to his campaign and other half for independent expenditures. Bribe, maybe. I don't know. So that's two people now that have been asked by AIPAC to leave their Senate race and go and primary a person in the House that has been very vocal about what has been going on in the land of Canaan. Now, there is one more thing that's been bothering me. Something to do with Wesley Bell. Wesley is now trying to primary the beautiful Cori Bush. Now, I wonder, Mr. Bell, did you get offered $20 million to leave the Senate race to primary Cori Bush? Now, Congresswoman Cori Bush has been trying to get a ceasefire in the land of Canaan since this whole thing began. She even introduced a resolution 786 a month ago. So I wonder, black man, was $20 million worth your soul? I just wonder. Anywho, let's now get more into details. Hugh Harper, a Democratic candidate for a U.S. Senate seat in Michigan, said a donor offered him $20 million in campaign support if he were to agree to end his Senate bid and instead mount a primary challenge against Rashida Tlaib. In a post on X, the actor turned politician said he rejected the donor's offer. "I won't be bossed, bullied, or bought," he wrote. Now, Tlaib, the only Palestinian American member of Congress, has faced intense scrutiny in recent weeks over her criticism of the Israeli government's military operations against Hamas. Earlier this month, the House passed a GOP-led resolution to censor Tlaib over her comments. Now, Harper did not name the donor in the post, but in an interview with CNN, his campaign spokesman identified Michigan businessman Lyndon Nelson as the person who offered the financial support. Now, Nelson did not immediately respond to emails and telephone messages Wednesday afternoon, but Politico, which first reported on Harper's allegation, said it had reached Nelson briefly, but that he quickly ended the call and did not respond to subsequent messages seeking comment. Now, CNN reached Harper by phone Wednesday, but he referred questions to Ganapathy. He told CNN that Harper received Nelson's call on October 16 and said it included an offer to bundle $10 million in contributions and provide another $10 million through independent expenditures on his behalf. Candidates face strict limits on the size of donations they can receive from individuals under federal law, and wealth donors and the candidates they support are legally barred from coordinating financing for independent groups that can spend unlimited sums on a candidate's behalf, said Sourav Ghosh, a former Federal Election Commission enforcement lawyer who now works with the Campaign Legal Center watchdog group. But bundling together contributions that do not exceed the legal limits is permissible, he added. Harper, a first-time candidate known for his roles on The Good Doctor and CSI NY television shows, faces a stiff challenge in vying for an open Senate seat next year. Democratic Elissa Slotkin, another candidate seeking the Senate seat, had led Harper and the rest of the field in fundraising. Now, Harper is using the phrase about not being bossed, bullied, or bought to solicit campaign donations. Now, coming to Wesley Bell, he decided to abandon his run for the U.S. Senate and instead challenge incumbent Cori Bush in the Democratic primary. Bell, who shocked the Missouri political establishment in 2018 by defeating a 7-term incumbent to become St. Louis County prosecutor, announced his decision to challenge his fellow Democrat for the St. Louisburg seat. Over the last several weeks, as I've campaigned around the state, I've heard one refrain from Democrats above all else: yes, we need you in Washington, but St. Louis needs you in the House of Representatives, Bell said in a statement announcing his decision. By jumping into the 1st Congressional District Democratic primary, Bell is setting up a showdown with someone who, like him, emerged on the political scene in the wake of the 2014 Ferguson protests. Bush lost her initial run for Congress in 2018, then rebounded 2 years later to defeat 10-term incumbent William Lacy Clay in the heavily Democratic district. Now, she easily won re-election in 2022, defeating state Sen. Steve Roberts by more than 30 percentage points in the Democratic primary. During her time in Congress, she has been a high-profile member of a group of progressive Democrats nicknamed the Squad. Now, talking about the Squad, we have seen how this American Israel Public Affairs Committee, one of the most powerful, best-funded influence operations in Washington, has been planning to go out to knock the firm Squad, the small group of highly visible and popular progressive legislators who are black, most of them women, out of office, all because the Squad has been vocal in its criticism of Israel's retaliatory assault on Gaza following the October 7 unaliving of Israelis by Hamas. We have finally come to the end of the video. Feel free to share your own take on this video. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.